So, Dad, you had an uncle named Tom Cooksey, lived with you guys for a long time. Tell me some stuff about him.
Well, Uncle Tom was a bachelor. He never married. He lived with us. When I was growing up, I never remember him not living with us. But he moved in. His parents, my grandparents, died in a flu epidemic in 1934. I was born in 1932. And he moved in with us in 1934 after his parents died. My parents had been married for, I guess they got married in 1929, I believe it was. So they'd been married for 5 years. They had an extra room on the house. Uncle Tom just moved in with them. So the house I grew up in had my parents, and Uncle Tom was always there. He was there when I was, he was there shortly after I was born. And he lived there throughout the rest of his life. He moved in temporarily in 1934, and he moved out in the 1980s or maybe the early 90s when he died.
It was the 90s, I remember.
I grew up with a mother and a daddy and Uncle Tom, and I had 3 brothers. One who died, who was just older than I was, who died as a child, so I never really knew him. So
what was his name?
We grew up in a house with my mother, my father, me, my 2 brothers who were younger.
What was your older brother's name?
Older brother's name was Alva Robert.
What do you think?
He died of spinal meningitis.
You think it was that?
What year?
It was spinal meningitis?
Yeah, spinal meningitis.
Okay.
He died in 1933, and I was born in 1932. So he died when he was 2. I was 1. So I don't remember him at all. And we had Uncle Tom in the 1940s during World War II. My Aunt Rosa, who was my mother's aunt, my great aunt, moved in with us because her husband died about 1945, 1944. So she moved in, and Rosa lived with us from then for the rest of her life, she died about 1960. So we grew up in that kind of a mixed family. I always felt like Uncle Tom was more like a second father than an uncle. He helped raise us. My father didn't own he drove the school bus, and he owned the school bus. The school bus drivers owned their own buses when I was growing up. And Uncle Tom had his own pickup truck. So that pickup truck was the only private vehicle on the farm during World War II until toward the end of World War II. So if we wanted to go somewhere on the weekends, now the buses by then were owned by the county, so we couldn't use them. So we and Uncle Tom used his pickup truck as a family car.
I love that truck, by the way.
1936 Ford.
Oh, it's beautiful. Flare side Chevy. Green.
Yeah.
Three on the column.
Uncle Tom was a farmer, of course, and he owned a piece of land that adjoined my father's land. There was like a 40-acre piece that Dad bought together. So they owned it together. I don't know who owned what half. They never figured that out, but never worried about it. Next to the farm. The rest of the farm that we lived on, my dad bought it in the 1940s. bought that land for like $40 an acre, and there were like 300 acres in that one piece. And we lived on that property all my life until I graduated from college, left home. But Uncle Tom was just part of the family. He had his own farm. He farmed land that he rented, and he farmed land, some of the one piece that he owned, and he ran cattle. He had cattle. Florida was open range, so the cattle you could have cattle roaming any place that wasn't fenced. You didn't have to fence your cattle in. Florida was an open range. If you wanted the cattle out of your yard, you had to fence your yard to keep the cows out. So Uncle Tom and my dad had cows scattered over several hundred acres of North Florida. They had 3 bunches of cows, and we would during the year in the winter months we would herd those cows up, castrate the little bulls, brand the cows, mark their ears, mark the ears on the pigs, turn them loose, and they ran open range until we decided we needed to sell some, so we cut them up and sell them. And you had pens, we had pens located in 2 places. You'd set up a pen, and then you'd set up a fence around each pen to make it like a funnel, and you'd take horses around to feed the cows first inside that funnel area to get them used to going in there, and then you'd herd them into a pen so you could brand the cows, castrate the little bulls. So now you had steers and cows and heifers all growing up together, and they would live free range. Now, if you wanted, when you got ready to fatten them, you could either take them and bring them in, put them into a cornfield, and let them eat corn to get fat before you sold them. It was really a fantastic way to grow up and to deal with livestock.
It's awesome.
My dad got his first automobile was a 1949 Ford. So now we're going back from the 19.
That was his first. That was his first car.
That was his first car. My dad's first
How did he
car.
get around before that?
Well, he had pickup trucks, an old pickup truck that we had an old truck that we bought during World War II. You couldn't buy new ones, so we had an old Model 8 stake-bodied truck, not a pickup truck, that we used to haul cows from one place to another. Uncle Tom had a pickup truck that we used to go to town in when we needed to go to town. An old 1936 Ford pickup truck.
Is that the same green truck that I'm remembering, or no? That's got to be
it would have preceded that one.
Okay.
He traded it for that green pickup truck, which was a Chevrolet, I think.
And yeah, as a Chevrolet, what year was that? Like a 50?
It would have been a 50.
Oh, it's a beautiful truck.
55, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. But Uncle Tom was like a second father to us. I mean, he helped take care of us. He helped anything that we needed. We just like having 2 daddies there to help take care of us. But he also helped discipline us too.
Yeah.
Uncle Tom was a real sport. There are lots and lots of Uncle Tom stories. He never finished high school, nor did my father. He had lots and lots of education, but not out of the classroom.
Right.
Education of hard knocks.
Hey, I'm going to stop this story,
Okay.
and then we'll start some others with specific stories.
Start some more.